Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1. Hard Lesson to Learn, written by Horatio. The Galactic Council is now in session, intoned the chairperson. Given the emergent nature of this session, we have decided to include any representatives who could not attend in person to be present holographically. Anyone attending that way has been provided with an automaton responsive to your orders only for voting purposes. We all know why you are here, shouted the Irali representative, interrupting. Just call the vote so that we can be done with this backwater waste. Any further such outbursts will be met with termination of office. I will not stand these hollowed halls to descend into anarchy, stated the chair being in such a way that all murmurs died down. If no one has legitimately more pressing matters to bring forth, then we shall proceed. Their expression made it clear that no one had better speak up. After a brief moment, they continued. The newest member species has brought an emergency request. The chair recognizes the Enthrak representative. Thank you, Chair and other members. My request is simple. Help us save the humans, stated the representative, retaking their seat. Immediately, the entire hall exploded into uproar of sound. The number of representatives shouting for and against the measure all tried to drown out each other. I will have silence, or I will have you all muted, the chair being stated, using their prerogative to enhance their volume to near damage-causing levels. The unexpected volume did cause those present to quiet down in shock. A member indicated that they requested the floor, and the chair acknowledged and invited them to speak. Why should any of us put forth any resources to help a non-member species? We have repeatedly invited the humans to join and been spurned every time, said the Dorth rep. After a surreptitious glance at the Irali, they sat down and yielded the rest of their time. During the recognizing of the Dorth representative, every single remaining member indicated a request for time, except the Irali Enthrak. The timing of the request does not grant us the opportunity to acknowledge everyone. If you agree with the Dorth, retract your requests. We will allow one speaker of the opposing view, then we will call for a vote, stated the chair. About a third of the indicators turned off. The rest all raised their request to urgent in the hopes of being the one selected to argue the other way. Given the divisive nature of this issue, there can be no doubt about favoritism. Due to this, we will trigger a random selection. A brief moment later, the Glorp representative let out a brief sound of fright and amazement, and the rest of the hall was filled with various sounds of defeat and regret. The Glorp are widely regarded as the least member in every way. They were not intelligent overall, they were pitifully weak physically, and their ability to converse with others left much to be desired. Hesitantly, the Glorp started to speak. My people not be here today but for human. Your people not here but for human, pointed to the Enthrak. You not here, you not here. They continued pointing at the different representatives each time. After about 10, the Irali representative shouted, We got the idea, move on. The chair flicked a control, muting the Irali. No further warnings, 10 cycle mute, please continue. He motioned to the Glorp kindly. The Glorp had started shaking, and for a moment they all thought it may refuse to continue. It started timidly, but slowly came back to its normal. All no human help, only bad dislike human. With that, this section of the council all started shouting at once, many calls of objection, some calls for the removal of the Glorp for slander, but the Dorth representative overshadowed them all. This is outrageous! These allegations cannot be borne! The chair turned on automatic mute for anyone not currently recognized. When he finished, the sound level returned to something more manageable, he said. I have turned on auto mute. Also, I note that the Glorp representative never said who was who. Given that they are now unconscious, we will allow the randomizer to pick another to finish their time. The chosen then stood and said, Well, timid and not very eloquent, the Glorp's words pretty much sum up the ideas at play here. Every member here knows the humans, and knows they refuse to join any group or coalition until their self-appointed punishment is over. We all remember what happened when the Ethel decided to annex Sol. The representative glanced at this shrouded section next to the Urali. Since their people can be seen at every refugee camp, every battlefield, every pandemic site, and manning their stations that sits in what's left of the Ethel system, they refuse to bring harm to anyone, join in any cause except saving anyone they can, and trying to get them to leave their Ethel vigil station is an exercise in futility. There now have been arguments made in both directions. I'll vote you to collectively sending aid to the humans now that their system is under attack from this mystery armada. The chair opened the voting function. They waited, trying to remain calm as the vote after vote was cast. As tallies started coming in, he was surprised that a few who normally would have voted against support are now voting in favor. The greater consensus has not been reached, the lesser consensus has. For anyone who desires, they can provide assistance as they see fit or not. Anyone who refuses will not be condemned as breaking code. Anyone who tries to force another to help will be, The session is adjourned. Half the galaxy away, Captain Nguyen shouted, "What can we do to shore up our defenses? The next hit could be disable the ablative armor." "We are working with a couple angles, Captain. We will have recommendations in a moment," replied Engineer Clark. "As soon as possible, Greg. A moment may be more than we have. I don't know how these ships are getting around our defenses, but if we don't come up with a solution, new hope will be lost." Silence rang on the bridge. They all knew the stakes. They had spent the last centuries developing medical science, and in that time, the rest of the galaxy had apparently caught up to their weapons and defense capabilities. "Sir," shouted the sensor commander, Groff. "New contact on sensors. They are coming into real space opposite the enemy armada from us." "Who are they, Commander? Open a channel so we can warn them away." "Incoming signal. It's a Glorb ship." "Commander, the Glorb tech is pitiful. We need to get between them and the armada." "Too late, Captain. The armada has seen them and their reserves are turning to fire." "Record all sensors. If we get out of this, we can at least give them to the Glorb so that they know what happened to their ship," the captain said. "Wait, sir. I'm detecting more incoming. I cannot seem to narrow down where they will exit. The sensors are throwing some impossible numbers. It must be something wrong with them." "Switch to passive scanners. When they show up, have a channel ready and open." The entire bridge watched the main display to see not one, but many ships entering real space. The Glorb apparently sent their entire fleet. Every ship that could make it in one piece is now spread around the entire system. "Sir, the signal is still being detected by active scanners." "Disable them, send power to defenses," ordered the captain. "I no longer believe it's a malfunction, sir. There is a massive number of ships coming from every direction," replied Commander Groff. "The rest have council idents." A moment later, he said, "Sir, there is now an incoming signal, coming as council emergency." "Greetings, Captain," said the council champion as they appeared on the main display. "I brought some friends along to help. Regroup and pull back. Tend to your wounded." The bridge looked on in disbelief as a ship after ship appeared surrounding the armada. After the Glorb came the end track. There was the F-Spal flagship, a fleet of exit drones, and more yet appearing. Fully 2/3 of the council sent everything they had. They all knew of someone personally who would not be alive if it wasn't for a human, and they all wanted to repay the favor. "The wealth of the galaxy means nothing besides the sacrifices humanity have made. Time you learn to accept what you have handed out to all of us." End of story. Story number 2. Human Aggression Level, written by Tejinta. "So, what's your plan?" Takalk said as I glanced at the gang of space pirates trying to lynch the local sheriff. "I'm going to walk over there and I'm very kindly going to ask them to stop what they are doing," I explained as Takalk stares at me like I was an idiot. "And what are you going to do when they string you up right next to the sheriff?" he demanded as I wiggled a small detonator I concealed in my hand. "I'm going to assume you reach minimum safe distance and blow us all to Kingdom Come," I explained with half a mad smile. For a moment, Takalk stared at me, then at the detonator, then at me again. With a muffled screech of terror, my friend bolted for the back door and began making tracks for the far hills. Beneath my long coat, the small thermonuclear cherry bomb sat innocently against my thigh. I hoped the pirates agreed to leave, but I also kinda wanted to set this puppy off. It felt right to make a ruckus today. End of video log. 3rd Continental Colony Incident, July 4th, 3776. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.